The publishers of Dungeons & Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, have taken the stance against making any sentient species inherently evil without explanation, a sentiment I wholeheartedly agree with. However, I would argue one exception: the species whose breed is a product of their evilness, not the other way around. Welcome to Critically Misused, a show where we look at misunderstood aspects of D&D. On this episode, we'll be covering Cultist in the Jungle, the Yuan-Ti, as suggested by commenter Syndicate 31. But first, a disclaimer. What I cover in this video has no connection to any minority group in the real world, and should never be interpreted as such. Furthermore, I urge you to think critically about how you tell your stories, lest you end up insensitive or downright bigoted. This probably sounds obvious, and believe me it is, but I've seen harmful ideas perpetuated through D&D that I want to stop. Yuan-Ti didn't evolve naturally like lizard folk, receive their appearances from a greater power like Dragonborn, or start out as servants of a god like kobolds. Their origins are self-inflicted, and bad enough to get this video taken down if I'm not careful with my wording. Let's start at the beginning, for real this time. Despite refusing to cover the tangled mess that is Forgotten Realms lore in 2 of my videos already, I'll dive into it here. The first people to establish civilization in the Forgotten Realms were not humans, elves, or dwarves, but a reptilian species called the Saruk. They were masters of magic and technology in a time where humans had just begun to understand fire and written language. Great civilization builders whose knowledge has guided countless empires into prosperity. But their empire eventually fell, and their ancient cities transformed back into the jungles they rose from. The sources have become contradictory from here on out, so I'll do my best to interpret them. After the Saruk fell, an ambitious group of human cultists wanted to claim the lost civilization as their own, to rebuild the empire and dominate the region once again. They reached out to the Saruk's deities, hoping to claim the same power as their predecessors. But the Serpentine gods wanted Serpentine servants, so the cultists rectified the issue. They spent generations creating more and more snake-like individuals, cultivating their biology until they were fit to serve their new masters. From their foul deeds, the Yuan-Ti were born. Gross as that is, it's not what makes the Yuan-Ti evil. A messed up family tree doesn't damn a newborn Yuan-Ti to inherent maliciousness. Indeed, many of the less serpentine Yuan-Ti aren't evil at all. I misled you earlier. It's the most powerful, most serpentine ones with blood on their hands, for Yuan-Ti evolved like Pokemon starters, through mass murder. Between ritual sacrifice, cannibalism, and regular killing, Yuan-Ti that have gotten power from their deities have done horrible, disgusting things to be eligible for it. The worst, known as the Anathemas, kill hundreds in the name of reptilian ascension. Murderous Yuan-Ti no longer recognize other people as people, and will subjugate and sacrifice them without a moment's hesitation. They even hate other Yuan-Ti and their Saruk gods, for each wants total power over all others and will do anything to get it. It's a risky lifestyle, indeed, but with the promise of a globe-spanning empire and godhood, many power-hungry snake folk keep at it. To address my original point, Yuan-Ti aren't inherently evil, but any Yuan-Ti that has ascended to a more powerful form has done some awful things to get it. Before we end the video, I'd like to address some retcon lore that I deliberately left out, that Yuan-Ti are inherently emotionless. I strongly dislike this from a lore perspective, as it erases the capability for envy or anger, as well as joy and empathy. Furthermore, I hate how closely it resembles the falsehood that autistic people, such as myself, are devoid of empathy and manipulate those around us. It's a stereotype I've fought against my whole life, and I hope to escape it in the land of make-believe. When I mentioned being wary of real-world stereotypes, this is what I meant. For in-game monsters can be demonizing characters of real-world people. Please think critically about what you make and how you play. And please keep downright hate out of the comments. Though I'm always open to criticism about my videos, I will delete any comments personally attacking me or anyone else. I know most of you are great people, and I hate to bring this up repeatedly, but a loud enough minority becomes worth addressing. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you've made it this far, consider dropping a like and subscribing, and perhaps suggest a monster you'd like to see me cover in the comments. Safe travels, until we meet again.